Saludos Amigos, it is my 20th video. I have decided to do a top 20 of Disney movies. Part of the reason I wanted to do this was because I have all of the Disney movies at my disposal because we're obsessed. The only ones I don't have are Bolt and Big Hero 6. Big Hero 6 I still haven't even seen, so we're gonna work on that part first. For the purposes of this video, when I say Disney movies, I mean Walt Disney Animation Studios. So that's 54 movies in total. I am not gonna count Pixar, Disney's live action, and no Disney Toon Studios. Number 20 is this beauty right here, Sleeping Beauty. You see that? You see the nice VHS case? Because we got everything on VHS. My family was very resistant to the DVD change. I think it's just a great film in terms of animation. The couple of songs that are in there are just super pretty, and of course it comes from the Sleeping Beauty ballet. Also, Maleficent is my favorite character in all of Disney. 19 is Cinderella. It's a classic. It's the story that everybody knows. It's almost everybody's favorite princess. So This Is Love is one of my favorite Disney songs. It's my favorite Disney love song. I think the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful, and if it weren't good, they wouldn't keep making different versions of it. Just saying. 18 is 101 Dalmatians. Cruella's such a cool villain. Roger and Anita are a beautiful couple, even though they're not really the main part of the movie. It's still really cool to watch their interactions because it feels like such a genuine relationship. And the puppies are so cute. How can you not love them? 17 is Emperor's New Groove. I think everybody loves this movie. Pretty much every single character in this movie is absolutely hilarious. I don't know how anyone could not adore Yzma. And Kronk is easily Disney's best sidekick. The story takes place in like this cool Aztec kind of environment, which is really fun to watch because you don't get a lot of that in Disney. And the voice acting is on 16, Mulan. I think this is probably in most people's like top 5. Aside from Mulan being the amazing feminist character that we all know and love, the music is so good, and how do you not adore Eddie Murphy? Plus, props to Disney for being cultured and looking things up and finding out cool things about China and being our first real introduction to Chinese history. What I will say about most Disney history is that it may not be 100% accurate, but it got you interested. 15 is Aladdin. The genie is just a phenomenal character. I don't understand how anyone could not love him. Funnily enough, I am not a big fan of Aladdin himself. I think a lot of his actions are just kind of annoying and inexcusable, but the rest of this movie is just wonderful. The music's lots of fun, and how do you not love Jafar and Iago? 14, Oliver and Company. If we are going to talk about fun music, as I probably will with a lot of these movies, this is the movie to talk about. With Billy Joel as Dodger. That is his only acting credit. He was in this movie as the main dog. It's probably one of the most fun soundtracks. Maybe not the best, but one of the most fun. And I think this movie honestly doesn't get enough credit. The problem is it came out right before Little Mermaid, so it just missed the whole Disney Renaissance phase. But it's got great characters and a cool plot. I mean, who doesn't love the original story of Oliver? You're adding New York City and animals to it? What could be better? 13, The Lion King. Now this is one that is also in a lot of people's top 5. Beautiful African setting with the music and the animation, these cool characters. Timon and Pumbaa are hilarious. This movie probably has some of Disney's most iconic songs, and I think that's really cool just because they didn't go for the typical cheesy, campy stuff. They tried a new cultural aspect, and it worked. 12 is The Little Mermaid. Interestingly enough, this used to be probably my favorite Disney movie when I was younger. Ariel was my favorite princess. I loved that she was young and spunky and adventurous, and she loved to sing. Aside from the iconic songs that everybody knows, the animation's really cool. It's the time when animation started kind of changing for Disney. 11 is Hercules. Now, again, like Mulan, we know it's not accurate. We know they're leaving stuff out. But this is what got me interested in Greek mythology, and I cannot be more grateful for it. The movie itself is a blast, and I know that watching this movie made you want to be one of the muses too. 10 is Pocahontas. Now, this is another one, again, not completely accurate. but it piqued my interest. I think Pocahontas is a great character. I think she's kind of relatable in the sense of wanting to find your own path. And she and John Smith are probably Disney's sexiest couple. Also, the score is just beautiful. Alan Menken did a great job with this. It's not even about fun, catchy, cool music in this. For me, it's emotional, really deep pieces. And I cry every time I see the ending, and it's because of the music playing in the background. Number 9 is Beauty and the Beast. Now, this is probably also in a lot of people's top 10. I just adore Belle. I think she's a wonderful character. And it's just beautiful. I mean, the music and the setting, the animation, the story itself. I don't know how anyone couldn't love it, especially because, as many people have talked about in their own videos and articles and stuff, Gaston is such a real character. Like, that sexist, awful, selfish person is a real person that exists, and I can't thank Belle enough for kind of showing girls that you don't have to tolerate that, and you don't have to love him just because everyone else does. You can see right through him and find somebody else that really deserves your love. 8 is Sword in the Stone. I don't think a lot of people know about this movie, but I have so much fun with it. Merlin's hilarious, the magic's really cool to watch, the music's kind of cute, and it actually has one of my favorite scenes in all of Disney. 7 is Robin Hood. The music is pretty country, I'm not gonna lie, but it's still memorable. And how do you not love the story of Robin Hood, just a do-gooder who steals from the rich and gives to the poor? Also, Robin Hood and Maid Marian are my favorite couple in anything ever. They're so cute and they love each other so much. And they find each other after all this time. I could talk about them forever. 6 is Lady and the Tramp. You get to watch Lady grow up. She starts as this precious little puppy, and then she's loved by her owners and she plays with them, and then she finds out what a baby is and she gets really excited that her owners are gonna have a baby, and then she falls in love, and she goes in a crazy whirlwind over the course of like maybe 2 years. But it's so cute, and it has such good music and beautiful animation. And it's just a cute movie all around. I recommend watching it around Christmas time because Lady was actually their Christmas gift. Number 5, The Three Caballeros. I really love it, and I know a lot of people don't because they just don't know about it or don't care to watch Donald for an hour. But the fun thing is this is around the time where, you know, the US was like, hey, let's improve international relations. How can we do that? And Disney was like, let's make a movie teaching kids about Latin America. Donald and Jose Carioca from Brazil and Panchito from Mexico learn about Mexico and Brazil, and Peru's in there. There's tons of music in here. And of course it all has Latin influence. So most of the time that I'm watching this movie, I'm dancing along to it. 4 is Lilo and Stitch. I don't think I've ever seen this movie without crying. And a big part of the reason is that when I first saw it in theaters with my sister, we were staring up at this movie and like, they stole our lives and added aliens. Carla pretty much raised me and took care of me all the time, and this was our relationship, and it meant so much. You don't break up family. Family is so important to us. And this movie kind of reminds you of that. Number 3 is Fantasia. I think it's one of the coolest things Disney's ever done. They take a bunch of classical pieces that you've probably heard before at some point in your life, and they give it to animators. So one person's like, oh, this sounds like dinosaurs walking through the earth. Or someone else was like, oh, I like this song. What do I think of? I think of a hippo in a tutu. And they made the animations for it. And not only are they beautiful, but they're fun and creative, and they were a great way, as a kid, to learn about classical pieces. Number 2, Princess and the Frog. This is the only one I have on DVD, but I could rave about this movie for forever. Tiana's my favorite princess. I think she's intelligent. I think she's beautiful. I think she's fun. I think she's classy. This music is phenomenal. This animation is so stunning, especially after having several movies where Disney did not use 2D animation. It was so nice to go back to that. There's magic everywhere. Every single character just has you rolling. the whole plot line of voodoo as like the whole villain thing, that's so cool. The Louisiana culture is just so exciting. It's so cool to see a movie where a black person is the main character. I don't care if she's a frog for the whole movie. She is still a person with beliefs and a background, and she's still fighting for what she believes in. And her best friend, who is white and privileged, never looks down on her for a second. How cool is that? On top of all of that, I think it has one of my favorite messages to ever come from Disney, where yes, it is so important to work for what you want, and to be determined, and to not let anyone break you down. But that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to love somebody. Loving someone does not make you weaker, it does not distract you, it is what makes you stronger. And it doesn't have to be romantic love either. It could be the love of your friends or the love of your family. But love is not something to be looked down on. And my number one movie is Hunchback of Notre Dame. Disney doesn't like this movie. Disney doesn't use Hunchback for anything. Probably because it talks about religion, more or less, and it's pretty dark. But I think that might be why it's my favorite, because it was a time when Disney was daring, and they took something that was much, much, much darker, thank you, Victor Hugo, and made it fun for a family to watch. You know, as a kid, you don't think it's dark and scary and creepy. You think, here's this person that not a lot of people love, but he's so lovable. I'm gonna be on his side, and I'm gonna learn I shouldn't be vain. The main character doesn't end up with the girl, because it doesn't have to be a love story. His story is not one of love, but it is one of finding who he is and learning to love himself. And that's just as important. It's got great characters in it. The writing is on point, and it has the most beautiful music I have ever heard from Disney. Like, this is my favorite soundtrack because it's so good. Alright, that's my top 20. I feel like that took forever. I'm sorry if any of your favorites weren't in here, but I mean, you're completely allowed to disagree with me, obviously. If you want to tell me what your favorites are, please do. Love, Sammy.
See you real soon. Why? Because we like you.
Someone should get me a puppy for Christmas. Yes, I say so. We do it.